Alright lads, so today we are jumping into the ranged REAPER guild quests. Hopefully throughout this video, by the way, my voice doesn't crack too much. I went to a Flow Naruto concert yesterday, which is why I didn't upload and my voice is kind of going. But with that said, when it comes to this week of guild quests, my main goal for the time being right now, unless it is different, is really just to try and beat Extra Wave 1 and 2. I'm currently not entirely sure how much HP the enemies do have this time around. Don't think it's that different compared to when Yoruichi first came out. But right now, of course, you are inclined to use Yoruichi. She recently just returned. The unfortunate thing is with my particular team, which is why I'm saying I'm only trying to get to Extra Wave 2 to get all the orb rewards, is that I'm using pretty much 3, but more so 2 technique characters when the bosses are all pretty much power once you get into the extra stages. That is why having a non-technique character like Yoruichi, or maybe if we come to here, I think there's the Orihime. No, I don't think there's any ranged normal attack damage character that you can use that is speed. I mean, there's Arskin, but his damage output, despite having Flurry +3, you know, isn't really all that. I guess, though, to be fair, we could at maybe one point take off Grimmy and put on Arskin, but I'm pretty much going to rely on this team. So this team would normally be good if the final boss was in power, so it might actually get better over time once the boss actually changes. But maybe, just maybe, me having a max transcended Giselle and also at least a 2 out of 5 Orihime is going to be enough to potentially get into like Extra Wave 3 and 4. Either way, we are going to go with this particular build. They recently did just upgrade the Soul Reaper sticker, so you can get that to 5-star plus if you want to get that extra bit of damage. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference since it's like a 3% increase. I mean, I guess it's worth doing nowadays if you have extra hammers to use on these. I guess if I come real close to beating Extra Wave 4, I might try and do that. But right now, I'm still a bit hesitant on upgrading the killer stickers. So we are going to go with this particular build. We then, of course, are going to use these 3 soul traits. I also, I guess, could use Yoruichi. She is going to give 15% Berserker, but I also do get the Long Stride. And I get the extra bit of recharge. I'm still a bit hesitant on which one I should be using. Giselle does have a decent strong attack damage increase, so I should probably check in on that later. But other than that, we are using Orihime. Right now, again, she is 2-5. We're going with full attack strategy. And then we are using these 3 particular soul traits. Right now, fortunately for me, it's something that I haven't really considered, to be fair, since I do have Macy 4 out of 5. I am getting a lot more Bruiser through the EX skill, but Macy as a EX skill is really good in general. You're getting the 40% normal attack damage, and then you're just getting more normal attack damage on top of that. Pair that with the Momo, who I did get for free through that, you know, original photo print ticket. I have a pretty good link set for Orihime, and then our final character is going to be Grammy, as he is a Quincy support unit. We are getting more damage, more specifically on Giselle. So with that, we're getting the 20% strong attack damage. Since it is specifically buffing Quincy's, it does stack with the Mugetsu soul trait. And then we're also getting 30% more damage to enemies that are inflicted with a status element. Remember, since Giselle did release before status element plus became a thing at the end of the year, Grammy can actually inflict status elements and ruin my damage on Giselle. So in the extra stages, that can be annoying. That can potentially ruin a run. But luckily, Grammy doesn't have an increased status element chance against the enemies, but he also does have a Vortex with Frenzy +3, so that could be a bit annoying. Might ruin a few runs, but hopefully not too many. Alrighty then, here we go. So I am going to save my Soul Bomb for... Actually, you know what? Let's just go in and use it straight away. Let's use our SA2. The SA2 is really good for inflicting status elements. Going into Renji, SA3, really good damage there. We do inflict the Dominate. I'm going to let Orihime finish up there. Normally, I would go Soul Bomb or EX Soul Bomb into 1. Into Ishin. Unfortunately, the Vortex doesn't last too long. Really good damage. Again, my Giselle's max transcended. Right now, it's kind of paying off since I do not have access to Yoruichi. Really, still a really good score. Again, mine's max transcended. It's like, it kind of paid off using those move sources because I don't have Yoruichi. But we should actually be fine, even though the final boss here is technique. You know, I might actually remove the Transcendence for the sake of the video just to see how it does go. Let's save our SA1. Completely missed there. This is an example where our damage output falls off since we do not have an SP boost. And Grammy did get a status proc. But fortunately, we had a decent amount of time to still inflict status elements. This is actually going really well. Maybe we can still beat a 1 out of 5. Maybe not. It's going to start falling off here a little bit. Because we had a lot of time spared in the first 5 waves. But we actually managed to beat it. Okay. Not too bad. I'm glad I can still get to use Giselle, right? I mean, I probably would still be using Giselle, even if I did have Yoruichi. Since Yoruichi, if I did summon for her, would only be 1-5. But there we go, 44 seconds. I think I can strive for like a 45 plus. And I guess this would be the part where I would try out different characters, but again, the ranged Reaper Guild Quest just doesn't really have access to different characters. I mean, you pretty much only have Giselle and also Yoruichi. I mean, I guess you also do have 7th anniversary Ichigo. I mean, I felt bad for people using Ichigo back a year ago. Imagine now in this current GQ? That would be dreadful. Although, to be fair, you'd be able to get away using Ichigo in even this current guild quest with the increased difficulty if we had access to really good normal attack damage characters, but we kind of don't. It's pretty much just Orihime, who, again, is a technique character. We can see, again, people are using Misaki. That is definitely a thing you can do. It might actually be better for you to use Misaki over Orihime, maybe? Sorry, over Gremmy. Because that way Orihime is getting more damage output. And if you do find that you aren't clearing fast enough, then you are going to start noticing that your damage output is going to fall off since a boost won't be active. And that again is where, you know, Misaki in the team will be really good because you can build it to have full recharge. Likewise, what you could do, which is why Misaki is such a good character. We are going to have a tier list go up tomorrow, but we do briefly speak about it once more because you can really make her a very top tier support. So if you do have Misaki, it's maybe worth trying using her in the 3rd slot, maybe in exchange for Grummy, and then use Swimsuit Rangiku as a soul trait, more so her EX skill, to give more damage output to your entire team. Once you do inflict a status on an enemy, you'll be able to get like around 12% more damage, and then you can use Mugetsu and also Zombie Rangiku to get 20% more normal attack damage and also strong attack damage. So you can actually make a really good god tier support in that 3rd slot for any guild quest phase if you have access to those like 4 characters. Unfortunately, I only have access to one of them, that being Mugetsu, so I can't unfortunately do that right now for this video. But what I guess we can do is just start to remove our Transcendence on Giselle. We might as well, right? Right now, my Giselle is pretty much maxed at level 13 attack and focus, so let's go ahead and perform like we have Giselle at 2 out of 5, which in this case is only level 10 SP and also level 13 focus. So now with that, let's see how this does go. At the very least, I'm fairly confident if you do have at least Giselle 1-5, especially Yoruichi, you should be able to get into Extra Wave 2, right? So let's see how it goes now. We're going to actually have to spend a lot more time here on these stages. I probably should have opened up with the SA2, but it's fine. Going into Renji, SA3, into the 1, still good damage there. I might save my EX and Sobom for the Extra Waves, because again, that's something you might want to do as well. Ishin's going to be really easy since he is a speed character. And then Ichigo, final boss. Let's SA 1, 2. Try and get every enemy here. Unfortunately, couldn't, but he is chasing after them. So even at 2-5, it's not too bad. How much time do we have left over in the Extra Waves? 50 seconds still. I mean, that's still good. Might be slower tap here, but Orihime is putting in the work too. So right now we have no boost active, so our damage output is going to be as lowest. But we did just reapply the boost, so that's actually really good. Let's Soul Bomb and then EX now. Again, the EX is really good. If you don't have like a utility effect on the EX attack, it's really good to have vortexes to inflict status augments. So this is actually Extra Wave 4. We have a Soul Bomb. Let's use it. Maybe not the best time there because we don't get an SP boost. So just wait for the EX to wear off. And we're still cleared at 2 out of 5. We had 14-second despair. So again, once more, our next run, we are now going to remove the Transcendence and only have level 10 SP. Which technically, if your Giselle is 1 out of 5, yours technically can be better because you can have level 13 SP. I'm strictly relying on the 500 SP in the final 6 slot. Although, to be fair, my Sobom is hitting a tad bit harder. But I think Giselle shouldn't struggle that much in Sobom damage. She does have the dominate damage, also weaken defense. So you should be fine even at 1 out of 5. Alright then, so again, let's go ahead and remove the focus slot. Also, technically, when you are building your character 1 out of 5, if you want to get the most damage out of them, technically it's better to go with the focus strategy. So ideally, you don't really want to go full SP. You can, it's easier if you want to do that. And the damage output is pretty much the same, but focus does offer a little bit extra damage output. So yeah, that's what Giselle's looking like right now. And I guess for our next run, if we do manage to clear all 4 waves, we are going to take out Orihime and mostly just remove her focus slot too. And at that point, it seems like if you do have the same team that I'm currently using, you can potentially replicate it just based on the team itself. Obviously, accessories will be the same. Links will be very different though. You may not have the same Transcendence investment, you know? But then it goes to show like you can still try and work on the team. Try and build it over time. So really good damage there on the second wave. Again, we are going to use our SA2 here. SA2 is still really good. Unfortunately, in that case, it's an example of me maybe pushing back the enemies a bit too much. Fortunately for us, the final boss, the 4th boss more so, being speed is actually really good for us. So Orihime is doing her damage there. And then we group up again. SA1. Still really good time. 40 seconds remaining is actually still really good. Again, I've not really checked on what the HP is like for this current GQ. Right now, it feels lower. But maybe, like, these characters are still just really good. I don't know. So, still 40 seconds remaining. But unfortunately, Gremmy got a status on it again. What are you doing, Gremmy? How? There we go. We can finally get a spiritual pressure boost, hopefully. Let's just use the EX attack. So that's the guaranteed orbs then. Extra wave 2 plates. Would love if Dominate could still do good damage. Because Dominate's more of a limit breaker statism, you know? So going into the final boss, let's Soul Bomb. Because Dominate here and also in... Well, Epic Rage you can't inflict it, but in this content, it does like a fixed amount of damage. So you can't just like burn the enemy away. Imagine like Lacerate and Burn and also Dominate, by extent, could just do like millions of damage per tick. That would be kind of cool. I know some games are all about, you know, there's a character archetype where their whole gimmick is inflicting damage over time stat elements. And that's where most of the damage output comes from. It'd be cool if we had something like that in BBS. But then again, I could see that being maybe a bit too broken in this game mode, since every character pretty much can inflict stat elements. But I don't know. Maybe it would be cool if characters like that can inflict Burn, Poison, Lacerate, and also Dominate, where their whole damage output is just literally tied behind those status elements. But needless to say, we still managed to beat it. I mean, still a respectable score. 32 seconds remaining isn't too bad. So now let's go ahead and take off Orihime's focus star. So let's go ahead and remove the focus star. And again, just for those that are wondering, you also technically can make Orihime a little bit better through the Link Sword level if you can go upwards to level 23 Link Swords. Currently, I'm just not going to do that. So now we are using a 1 out of 5 team. And since we're kind of breezing through this, I guess our next run, you know, we are going to take out the legendary, infamous, best character in the game, 7th anniversary Ichigo. Maybe you can actually make him work if you have, like, Giselle, not Giselle, Orihime 5-5, potentially. Maybe Misaki too. That might work if you get into Extra Wave 2. It'd be interesting if we can do that. Let's go down. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get the SA1 and also hit the boss itself, but again, still really good on time right now. Really good damage there, man. That's crazy. SA2. Into the 1. We're going to back up. Keep our distance. We're going to slow down here, definitely, because, again, power enemy. But I just noticed, don't have the team boost, so now it got reactivated. So, yeah, you definitely slow down a lot on the final boss here when only 1 out of 5. So, having that focus slot, either Orihime or Giselle's going to be really good. Inflict the status on it. SA2. That's SA1. I'm probably going to save the EX for the next boss. Damn, unfortunately, we took a hit. I can't believe we didn't get a status on it. So we have to retry this one. More so just because we did take a hit. We've now lost all our damage output. But yeah, we slowed down a lot here. But then again, I just lost all my damage because I took a hit, you know. Soul Bomb. At least we still made it into Extra Wave 2. I mean, Extra Wave 3. But that might be our cap, even if we didn't take a hit. Alright, so we made it back into the Extra Wave. In between that run, I did just find out that the Guild Quest actually hasn't been buffed that much. The Extra Waves are pretty much the same. Max HP on the final boss is like 180. The only difference is the first 5 waves are a little bit more difficult. But compared to the average GQ, this is actually, unironically, one of the easier ones. So that's actually, I guess, good to see. In a way, it's technically now easier to get all the orbs this time around compared to last time. Because, again, you only had to go to Extra Wave 2. Which is, I guess, nice to see. So in the midst of all these GQs getting buffed, this actually seems to be pretty good. In this case, doesn't seem like we were able to get into the final boss. Or we were able to get into the final boss, but not quite. Maybe we had like 5 extra seconds to spare. We could have done something, but you definitely noticed the damage fall off on the, you know, final boss. More so with only 1 out of 5. Alright then, so when it comes to Ichigo, what we are going to do right now is go with this particular build. My item right here does have 30% focus. I'm going to leave it as that because I just don't really want to change it right now. I just don't think I need to. So I guess if you do try and actually use Ichigo yourself, you might be just better off going with, you know, full SP. But I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. And then we are using these 3 particular soul traits. Again, my Ichigo is max transcended, so that's obviously going to be important. I think with a character like this, you want to be max transcended since he is now... At this point, which again, it's always crazy to think about, especially when you were playing when these characters came out. Ichigo's 3 years old. 3 years old. That's crazy. But, again, this GQ hasn't been buffed that much. Only the first 5 waves saw like a few million HP increase, right? So next time this GQ comes back around, especially if we do get a new ranged Reaper killer, you probably won't be able to pull off Ichigo and expect a similar clear time to what we're about to get. So SA2, still really good. We are getting the weakening proc at the very least. Let's SA1. Let Orihime finish up. I kind of forgot. Did I give Orihime a focus start? Hopefully I did. Damn, unfortunately we took a hit, so we're going to have to restart. Alright, next attempt then. So retrying that. Here we go. I do need to be careful against the... What do you call it? Third boss forward, because they do have poise. And we aren't guaranteed to inflict stat ailment since Ichigo only has Frenzy +1. And he also does not have an increased stat ailment chance. So we do have to be a tad bit careful here. But, you know, still with the Vortex, we should be fine. We're doing pretty good damage numbers here. It's against the 4th boss where it becomes a bit iffy. So again, we're backing up. Only getting closer when we can use a strong attack. Orihime should be able to do a good damage there. Fortunately, her boost wore off here. But I guess it's probably the best boss to have the boost stop or lose. Because then it comes back against the final boss, which is the power enemy. And again, we are saving our sword bomb for the maybe second boss, because that's our main goal, to try and get all the orbs. Completely whiffed that strong attack 1, but I'm used to that because it's 7th anniversary Ichigo. We saw that strong attack 1 on 2 characters back to back, pretty much like within the same month, and we took a hit. Great. I hate Ichigo. I'm not retrying. So we'll probably get to X-Ray 2 and stop there. But I hate that strong attack 1. Do not like it. I'm saving my SA2. I guess I don't need to here, because we can use the Soul Bomb. Probably should have given the character weakened defense. I have no idea what bonus abilities we have. But it seems like you should be able to still get all the orb rewards if you do play with Ichigo. Again, we were very close to clearing Extra Wave 2 there. Had I not taken a hit, we probably could have done that. So I'm not going to retry it. I just don't want to use this character once more. But it seems like it's possible at the very least. So yeah, this GQ phase seems relatively easy. Again, it hasn't been buffed that much. My assumption is that maybe because we haven't had a character post 10th anniversary to use it. Like Yoruichi released back in June, end of month. We haven't had a new normal attack damage character since basically what? Last year? Was it last year? Yeah, last year, April with Orihime. But yeah, other than that, it didn't seem too bad this time around. So in the comments below, let me know what characters and teams you personally used. Everyone pretty much watching this, unless you are like a really new account, like always don't have access to some of the characters you need for this GQ, should be able to at least clear all 4 extra waves, but most importantly, get to Extra Wave 2, where you do get all the orb rewards. But with that said, again, hopefully I didn't voice crack too many times in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.